and this is Voice of a Creative. Today I'm here to talk to you about the hashtag sewtogetherforsummer challenge, and that was this year to make a wrap dress. So this is being run by 3 people on Instagram: Rocco Sienna, Sew Sarah Smith and Sewing in Spain. And the challenge is to make a wrap dress, and that is either one that wraps all the way over or just wraps just at the top, but maybe doesn't wrap at the skirt. So I was really interested in doing this challenge because I've been trying to enter a few more sewing challenges, and I've really been enjoying it because it gives me a chance to get a bit more involved in the sewing community, but also because I really love wrap dresses, and actually I haven't had much of a chance to make many wrap dresses just because I've been making the same patterns kind of again and again because I know that they fit and suit me, and I haven't had so much time for sewing recently. So I went for 3 patterns, and I'm going to do a little bit of a review and also show you the dresses that I've made. And I'm sat to the side again this video because I'm going to post some pictures next to me of each dress that I've taken. So the 3 patterns I'm doing, so I've got the Ultimate Wrap Dress from Sew Over It. I've got the Buttrick Wrap Dress, so the B5898, and that is one that I got free from a magazine. And then I've got this one, which is the McCall's M7119, and this has been a dress that I've been wanting to make for ages, but I've decided to make it for this challenge as well. So I'm going to tell you about them in the order that I made them, because that seemed the easiest for me. So first up is the Sew Over It wrap dress. Now, I've seen loads of people make this online, and every time I see one I think it looks really lovely and it seems to be really flattering for most people. The one thing I kind of noticed is that for most people the strap part comes quite far over, and actually the shoulder seam kind of lies right on the edge of their shoulder. And I know that shoulder seams on most dresses and things do really bother me, and they're sometimes not quite right for me. So I did make a few adjustments before I even started. So I used the bodice block that I use, and I showed you it in a previous video, to just check that it was right. And I just adjusted the pattern so that the neckband, the whole thing shifted kind of over in the pattern. And I also decided not to do a facing on it, so the pattern requires for a facing, which I feel like in jersey is quite difficult and doesn't look as good. So I decided to do kind of a double folded kind of seam around the outside instead. So that means when I was cutting the pattern I had to add an inch for me to be able to do that. I also added a couple of inches to the length as well, because I like my dresses to be knee length. So that's 3 alterations: the shoulder, the change to kind of the neckband instead of adding a facing, and the length of the dress. So I decided to make it in this lovely polyester feather jersey, and I showed you this on my fabric haul video, and I really love this fabric. It was really lovely to work with, really easy to sew as well. Now, it came out really well. I decided to go for a short sleeve as well, and I did sew round the wrap bit, the ties, because actually I felt that they needed to be a bit flatter. But yeah, it turned out really well. I will insert some pictures next to me so that you can see. This one fitted me the best out of all 3. I felt it was quite flattering and it was easy to put together, and I did finish the neckband with a double row of top stitching, so it looks like it's been cover stitched, because I think that's a really nice finish. And the armbands with just a single line of stitching. But overall it turned out really well, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this. The one thing is I will have to wear a vest top underneath it, because there is quite kind of a large gap over my chest, and I might put a little tack or a popper there on it just to make sure it stays closed, but that is something to just be aware of if you are planning on making this. So the next one I'm going to talk about is this one, which is the Buttrick B5898, and this was a pattern that I got from Free With A magazine. Now, I knew about the challenge and I was looking at some magazines, and the magazine I bought had I think 2 patterns free with it, maybe 3 patterns actually. And this was one of the patterns, and actually I really liked the style of it, and I thought the little collar looked really interesting, so I decided to make kind of this version, although in the end I didn't do the collar lapel, so I just decided against it. What was really strange about this dress was the pattern piece. So the pattern piece came down and then it had kind of a front dart that sliced back into it. And although this was really good in terms of fitting, it was a really odd shape to cut out, and it meant that I couldn't do any alterations to the pattern before I actually sewed it together. Because I couldn't really work out how to check it, because, well, I couldn't work it out. So I just sewed the medium in this, so that was for bust 38 and hip 39. I did have to gradiate out on the waist, because the waist on this was 29 and actually mine's a bit bigger than that. So I did make that the waist alteration before I made it, when I cut it out. It sewed together quite nicely. The instructions were relatively clear. I've not ever sewn a butterick pattern before, so that was a bit different to get used to, kind of how they worded things, which was different to the other patterns that I'd used. So that was quite interesting to get used to. I will show you the dress. So this dress does have facings in jersey, and I made quite a lot of alterations to this dress. So firstly, the sleeve length. So the sleeve came down to my arm about here, and it looked, it looked really frumpy on me. It made my arm look massive. So I did cut it, so the sleeve was a lot shorter. So now the sleeve comes about here on me. I will post a picture so you can see. I did include the facing on this dress, so I've got it just there, and at the back as well. Because I wasn't really sure how to make a band for this because of that dart in the front. Now, I really dislike that facing. I don't like facings on jersey, and if any patterns come with facings on jersey, I will be doing something to change that, because when I put this dress on, it feels like there is so much fabric at the front of the dress, and it all gathers up and curls in on itself, and I just find it really quite uncomfortable to wear. So actually I won't be making it with a facing again. One thing I would also say is you've got just a flat shoulder along here. I've had to add some gathers in because this shoulder kind of came right off my shoulder and looked really baggy around this area. So I've added a couple of just pleats at the top there to bring that inwards, but I still do have quite a bit of fabric kind of in this area on my arm, which I really don't like, and I feel it on me, it just makes this whole area a lot wider, which isn't something that I really like. So I really love the ties on this, so the ties are really thin, so I really like that. So I think if I do another dress like this, I will be making thin ties like that. All of these dresses have kind of a hole in the side so you can thread the ties through, so they're all full wrap dresses. And this one, I mean, I haven't even hemmed the bottom, and I'm not sure I will, because I don't really like this dress. I'm not sure if I've been put off by the fabric. I liked this fabric the least out of the 3 fabrics that I chose, and actually I feel like that's why I kind of like it the least. But it's also a lot to do with the fit. Although it fits quite well around the bust, there's a lot of extra fabric along the side, and it has ended up a bit too short as well compared to the others. And I think overly I was just confused by the odd pattern piece at the beginning, and that's made it really difficult for me to adjust it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this now. I'm wondering if I'm going to make it into just like a wrap top. Maybe that will work better, or I will just finish it and wear it, because it is still wearable, it does still fit me, it would still be comfortable, but it's just not as flattering as the other two dresses that I've made. So my last pattern is this one. So this is the McCall's M119, and this pattern is actually for woven fabrics, not jersey fabrics. And I decided to I've made kind of a crossover version. So I've made version C, might help to show you the line drawing. I've made version C, but with a shorter skirt. And I've been wanting to make this pattern for ages, and I've been wanting to make it because I really like the raglan style sleeve and the gathers and the band kind of around the neck. And actually I really like the floaty skirt version as well. So I will be considering making that again in the future. So this is my version. So this is again one of my polyester jerseys that I got. All these fabrics are from Fabricland, and I bought them deliberately to make these dresses as just trial versions, although I wanted them to be wearable because otherwise I just feel like it's a waste. So I really loved this fabric as well, and I think it looks really cute, and I think this was my favourite of the three fabrics, and actually this is my favourite dress, how it's turned out. Now I'm wondering how much I'm biased by the fabric. I don't know. So with this one, so it's got the raglan style sleeve, and then it's got gathers on the shoulder, and it's also got gathers along the back. Now I did change this slightly to make it out of jersey. So instead of having the band as they suggested, so the band that they suggested, you hemmed it and then you attached it. So instead I've just added like a neckband like you would on a jersey top, and attached it that way. And actually, because this is a stretchy fabric, it's fine, it lies flat against the neck. I think if you were using a jersey with a lot less stretch, you might have to put a seam at the back to just help with the shaping. I did make the sleeves shorter, and then I added the ties as well. The ties are quite long on this one. One thing I did get a bit confused with is the front bit here, which you can't really see, the front bit here. And that is because you insert the tie in before you put the band on. And actually that's the first time I've done that, and so it did take a little while to get that right. But overall, although I had to really think about kind of adapting the woven pattern to jersey, this one came out really well. And I feel like it's really shaped. It's got a bust dart as well, so like in terms of fitting, it's really lovely. I made a few adaptations to the pattern as I was cutting. I actually traced this pattern and made adjustments because I knew that I would want to reuse it, and actually because I was using it in jersey, I thought if I do like the neckband and different things like that, then it would be easier. So I actually made the size 12, but because I was making it in jersey, I thought actually it would be okay because it would stretch around, and also because I had the neckband, which was slightly different, I made it slightly wider, so actually that would kind of cover the bit where it was missed. But out of all of the dresses I made, this one is my favourite. I really love the gathers, it's really cute. I really love the raglan sleeves and the pattern. So overall this one was my favourite out of the three patterns. So I really enjoyed sewing kind of three of a similar kind of dress. In terms of similarities, all of these dresses were full wrap dresses. I made them all in polyester jersey that I got from Fabricland. They all took about the same amount of fabrics. I enjoyed making the ultimate wrap dress because actually the instructions were so clear and easy, and there were so many examples online that it was really easy to kind of make it and make that adjustment, and I'll definitely be making that one again. I'm tempted to maybe make like a wrap top with that one, or try and add some more gathers at the waist, just to kind of mix it up a bit. I also really enjoyed the McCall's one. I generally really like McCall's patterns. They always fit really well on me. All the ones that I've made so far have, and actually that is something that really draws me to a pattern because I hate adjusting and fitting patterns. I would say that the butterick pattern I won't be making again. I don't like the style. It makes me feel quite frumpy, and you don't really want to be feeling like that. So that is a pattern I'm not going to really make again. But it was a really good experience making it. I really liked how I learned to do that big front dart, and actually I now know how to deal with pattern pieces that are a bit oddly shaped. And I think all you can do when you're trying sewing is you have to try different patterns, because otherwise you're never going to move forward with your skill. And so I've learned a lot from doing this. It's really interesting to see how my fabric choice actually really makes me like or dislike a dress. So actually in the future I'm going to be even more careful with the fabrics I choose, and really think more carefully about that and what pattern I'm going to be using as well. Just wanted to let you know what I'm wearing. So this is a self-drafted jersey dress from my block pattern that I normally use. It has slight gathers in the waist, and this is a fabric that I got from eBay a couple of years ago, and actually it's a fabric that I've rebought because the other dress that I have like this has gone a little bit faded, and so I bought the fabric again to basically make the same dress again because I absolutely love this fabric. I am also wearing my glittery Me Made pin. So this is from Pink Coat Club, and I already have the light blue version and a seamstress pin, and I absolutely love wearing them. I think they're a lovely accessory, and I will link her Etsy shop down below so you can go and take a look for yourself as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please click the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!